As for tonight, 40 degrees. It's going to get pretty chilly, so make sure if you're going out, you have a jacket. Once again, clouds are going to stick around, and we have a little bit of a breeze since we had that frontal system come through. It's going to bump up to 10 to 15 miles per hour, so keep an eye on that as well. Tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures in the 50s with sunny skies. Tonight, we're going to talk about the cool weather, sunny skies, and severe weather that happened today, so stay tuned.
Welcome to the Wednesday edition of FSU Weather. We've got a packed show tonight. We've got everything from a nice cool down and a nice sunny streak up here to the severe weather that we had today here in Tallahassee.
That's right, Robert. I'm student meteorologist Chandler Pruitt, and as Robert was saying, we had a pretty interesting day. It is. As far as waking up this morning, I went to classes, but when I came out, I saw that we were under a tornado warning. After waking this bum up out of bed, we both explored a little bit. We went outside just for a good little second, but then we quickly went back inside, went to the basement, told everybody to get down and take a little bit cover. Robert, how did you feel during that moment?
Right. I mean, I was woken up from the slumber, as Chandler nicely mentioned. I was, for the record, taking a chem exam and decided to take a nap after I did a very hard exam. But I got to say that it was definitely some really good warning today from the National Weather Service, making sure that we're all safe and informed as to the tornado threat. Made sure that it seemed like there was, as of right now, no even reports of injuries. They did a really good job today. But I have to say that it was still a little bit shocking just waking up and hearing that tornado threat today. Not something exactly that we would say we would have expected a few days out here.
No, we were actually only under a marginal risk, but this just communicates how it is important to take every risk seriously, even if it's marginal, even if it's one of those lower risks. It's always good to just be able to have a plan in case something happens. I know while I was walking outside before the warning had been issued, I'd seen a lot of people just walking casually, and as the siren went off, they didn't know what to do. And so it's important to just tune in as we dive into what happened today later on in the segment and just learn why we should be preparing for these kind of events.
Right. It's always important to be prepared when you have a tornado. Make sure you go to your lowest level interior area of your building. Make sure you go there quickly whenever you get a warning like you had today. But today was a crazy day. We're going to break it all down later. But right now we're going to have a look at our southeast weather on the wall with Tyler.
Thanks, Robert. Here in the southeast, you have some different things going on, really. We'll start with Little Rock out here to the west. 40 degrees right now. They're already seeing those cooler temperatures behind that cold front, which is actually located right above central Florida right now. Tallahassee, we're at 71 degrees. Finally saw all of that rain clear out. Saw some rain in Jacksonville earlier, but that's also starting to clear out. 57 degrees for them. As we move northward, Montgomery's at 60. Charleston, you guys are at 55. And in South Florida, as usual, you guys are pretty warm right now. We have some dry air behind the cold front. Mostly in Mississippi, Arkansas, and Louisiana. That's where your lower dew points are at. We still have a lot of moisture in the air in Tallahassee, but you're going to start to see that moisture go down as we go throughout the night, and those temperatures start to drop. But all of that moisture helped fuel the storms that we saw today in Tallahassee. And these wind speeds just showing what kind of air is going to start to move into the region. We have a northwesterly flow bringing in a lot of continental and dry air into the southeast. That includes Tallahassee now with those winds moving at about 5 miles per hour. But as we get into central Florida, those winds are kind of all over the place. Still have some moisture in the region, still some possible rain as well. We can see that line of showers. Finally moved through Jacksonville, now starting to move into north central Florida. Right around here is the Daytona Beach area, maybe parts of St. Augustine seeing rain as well. And then likely Gainesville seeing some rain from this line of storms. And as we move north, eastern parts of Tennessee and Atlanta, you guys are seeing some rain right now as well. And here's our storm risk right here. The green is a marginal risk for seeing severe weather. That's about a 20% chance of seeing a severe thunderstorm. Although I expect this has probably moved a little bit further south now, as Jacksonville and most of northeast Florida have already seen rainfall move through the region. I know there was a tornado warning earlier in the day for Jacksonville, but that is now gone. For the rest of the regions in this lighter green, you guys will see some thunderstorms if the rain is coming your way, but those thunderstorms won't be quite so severe in nature. So over the next 48 hours, you're going to see things are going to clear up for all of the southeast, really. No rain to be seen, except a little bit in Miami, possibly Friday evening, but going to be a pretty clear and dry next 2 days. Here are our low temperatures. Tallahassee, 41 degrees tonight. Jacksonville getting down to 43. And then for tomorrow's forecast, going to be warm in central and south Florida, but cooler for the rest of the southeast. Now I'm going to pass things off to Jesse with our first local look.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Once again, here's that sunset over Doak Campbell Stadium. It actually looks really beautiful. If you guys have a minute to go check outside, I would definitely recommend it. Lots of pinks in the skies. Those clouds are still hanging around from that system that came through today. Currently 71 outside. Once again, clouds still sticking around, and we have a little bit of a breeze, which is going to pick up as we progress through the night. The satellite is showing us that those clouds are going to continue to hang around as we go through the night, but the rain is now behind us or in front of us as it heads to the east and begins to drop rain over other regions of the state. Here's that picture of those storms over the majority of, or over this portion of Florida. Once again, it's just now passing through Jacksonville. So if you're in the Orlando region and even further south in Tampa, you're going to start seeing these storms pick up as we go throughout the night as well. Currently, all around the Big Bend region, we're seeing temperatures at 71 in Tallahassee, but then other places are seeing temperatures begin to drop. 61 in Thomasville, 61 in Valdosta. Really, we're seeing clouds over the majority of the region as well. That's going to change as we go into tonight. Now, as for our dew points, we do have fairly high dew points. If you remember, the closer the dew point is to our actual temperature, that's when you're going to start to feel kind of muggy outside. And this is left over from that system that came through earlier that brought us all of that rain and the severe weather. A lot of the winds that are coming from the northwest are just following that frontal system. We got that 6 miles per hour in Donaldsonville. Here in Tallahassee, just 5 miles per hour. And as you get further down by the coast in Apalachicola, they're looking at 7 miles per hour. A little bit breezier down there, but in a lot of the Big Bend region, these winds have calmed down, and they're really seeing no breeze at all. Over the next 24 hours, those clouds are going to clear. Look at that. Beautiful day for tomorrow. So if you had a rough time, you maybe got caught in the rain today walking into class, don't worry about that tomorrow. However, you might want to bring a jacket because today we're seeing temperatures that hit just above 70. As for tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures to drop back to 56 for the high, which is going to be a big change. And then Friday, we're going to see temperatures in the high 50s, and Saturday, we're finally going to get above 60 again. Those lows, though, sticking down in the 30s. You might have thought that maybe we were going to get out of this cold weather, but guys, it's January, so we still have a few more of these left. Once again, lows in at 34 and 38 as we're going into the weekend, so definitely keep an eye on that and might want to structure your plans around that because that's chilly. Once again, Thursday, Friday, that's when we're going to see that cooler weather, and then as we progress through the week, Saturday and Sunday, clouds, more rain again. So even though we're going to see 70 degrees on Sunday, as we're going into the beginning of next week, those temperatures drop again. We're going to see temperatures in the 50s again as we enter next week, and it looks like we might have some cloudy skies going into that. Once again, our lows are going to look like they're sticking in the 30s as well, so just keep your jackets around because, guys, today was crazy, but we have colder weather coming too, and speaking of today, I think we're going to pass things off to Zach and Tyler. What you guys got for us?
Yeah, thanks, Jesse. Tyler, today was a pretty eventful weather day. As meteorologists, we tend to get excited about severe weather, but, when it hits your hometown or where you're from, the area you're living in, it's not as exciting. It's more fearful for a lot of people.
Yeah, and we're only under a marginal risk for severe weather. And really, I know I was working on some homework today, and all of a sudden we got that tornado warning out of nowhere. So things really ended up ramping up today. Those winds are blowing really hard at my apartment, raining really hard, and then of course we heard about the confirmed tornado on the ground by the airport here in Tallahassee.
Yes, I was actually in class on Zoom, of course, but was paying attention to other things while this was happening. Here is some pictures of that local damage. This is over close to the airport earlier today. So right around noon, things really went south, and we did have a confirmed tornado at the Tallahassee International Airport, and there was some, light to moderate damage. Did flip some aircraft and damaged a hangar. At least the pictures have been going viral online.
Yeah, I was able, after everything was clear and everything was safe to go out, I was able to actually drive over to the airport and see some of the damage that happened, and that's where I saw some of these downed trees here. So not a super powerful tornado, as you
No.
said, not a lot of damage there. A couple of fallen down trees by the roadside near the airport. I believe FAMU also had some trees that actually got ripped up from the ground. Those are some smaller trees. And of course, the airplane that got flipped over was a very small airplane. It was on the ground. No one was in it. So definitely a weaker tornado. Luckily, no one was hurt or injured from this, just some tree damage, some property damage for the airport. So that's a little bit annoying for them. But luckily, things were not too bad here in Tallahassee.
Yeah, and very notable too, this is the third year now in a row that we've had a tornado in Leon County, and we've had warnings and we've had tornadoes. You know, is that a worrying trend? You know, it's obviously that's speculative, but you know, I have to say I want to give props to the National Weather Service and to the university alerts for being very prompt. Pretty much the second the warning was out, it was across the board, you know, tornado warning, take shelter, and that has drastically improved from recent years.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's all we have for you guys here at the desk. Now we're going to pass things out to the wall with Christian.
Thank you, Zach and Tyler. I'm going to be speaking on the national forecast today. And so you can see half of the country, it's pretty chilly up here. But the southern half, it's a lot more milder and it's feeling really nice currently. We got temperatures of 65 degrees down here in San Antonio, 47 in Dallas, 57 in Los Angeles, and up in the northern half of the country, 34 in Boston, 40 degrees in Washington, D.C., and 46 in Seattle. We got our dew point temperatures pulled up here. Majority of the country is pretty dry. The southeast is sticking out like a sore thumb, just as those thunderstorms, severe weather, and tornadoes are passing by. But over here in Seattle, 36 degrees, 24 in Salt Lake City, and 9 here in Detroit, and a lot more moisture here. Tallahassee, 65, and down in Miami, 62. And now we're taking a look at our wind speed and directions. And it's pretty windy down here in New Orleans with some northwesterly winds, 14 miles per hour. Over here in Salt Lake City, 16 miles per hour. And over here in Los Angeles, it's 10 miles per hour. And we're going to look at our satellite and radar. You can see that cold front that is just passing by us right now. And there's the storms that are passing, that is just in front of the front end. We got some low pressure systems over here. But over here in New Mexico, Colorado, we got that high pressure system that's just sitting there and it's keeping it fairly dry. And there's some storms that are approaching the coast of California, and there's a couple of occluded fronts there. I'm not sure why there's two, but there are some cold fronts that's right there. We got some snow on the mountains of Sierra Nevada and Idaho. And we are looking at our upper level water vapor. There's some moisture that's coming in, of course, that we saw from the storms approaching California, and they're starting to head into Nevada, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming. And for us, of course, down here the moisture is pretty evident, and majority of the country is just a little bit, well, it's still dry from our dew point temperatures. We're going to take a look up here in the northeast, and we got some clouds coming by, and there's some snow hanging around in Maine. And, well, when we look over here in Idaho, we still got some snow that's over in the mountains, and we see the storms that are approaching the Pacific Northwest here in Washington and Oregon. And that's going to be really nice for the southwestern part of the country because it's been very dry, and California especially really needs it. And I'm sure there's a lot of snow that's already been happening in the Sierra Nevada. And actually, we're going to talk about Lake Tahoe in a segment later today, so they will be specifying more on that. And for us here in the southeast, well, luckily for us, it's all over. A little bit of north and central Florida still going to be dealing with some rain, but hopefully it won't be as bad as it was earlier today. Now we're going to look at our storm outlook. As Tyler has said before, there's a marginal part probably closer to Jacksonville, and for the rest of north and central Florida, we still have some thunderstorm chances, but nothing too bad from what we saw earlier tonight. In tonight's forecast, it's going to be 50 degrees in Los Angeles, 45 in San Francisco with some rain showers, 24 degrees with some wind in Washington, D.C., and a little bit of snow in Boston with 9 degrees. And tomorrow's forecast, it's still going to be raining in California. It's going to be nice and sunny down here in the southeast, and there's still going to be a little bit of wind up in Washington, D.C. But for now, we're going to pass things off to Robert.
Right, thank you, Christian. That's a really nice look at the nation. You can see it's fairly normal for most of them, but for us today, it's actually a little bit on the warm side. Looking at our temperatures, you can see our high is almost 10 degrees above normal, and our low is almost 30 degrees above normal. So aside from, of course, the major severe weather event we had today with tornadoes, this is another event we're looking at. You can see with the satellite radar, however, these storms are starting to make their way out of the region. And we have maybe a spotty shower or two down by the coast, but it's starting to make its way out, along with the clouds, of course. And we're going to start to see a very nice sunset into night tonight. And it is going to, however, still affect most of central Florida. As you can see, these storms are starting to make their way down towards Orlando. Not really severe anymore. They don't carry that threat that they had while they were here. However, these storms are still going to pack a punch with all this rain they've got there. So it's important that if you're driving along, say, the I-4 corridor, that you still keep in mind that these storms are quite heavy and will produce quite a bit of rain. But you can see these temperatures right now, are fairly nice. Above the I-10 corridor, it's going to be a little bit cooler in the 60s, 62 in Bainbridge, 61 in Thomasville, 71 in Tallahassee, and a little bit warmer down by the Gulf, again, 71 in Apalachicola. So a little bit of a warmer day for us here, and also muggier too. So aside from, of course, you have these severe weather events today, it's also not that nice of a day here. You can see we have a 69 dew point in Apalachicola, 68 in Perry, just a little bit drier. You can see 59 in Thomasville, but look at that down here towards our southeast. Very wet down there. That's going to be in the 70s for you guys down towards Gainesville. Looking at our wind speed and direction, you can see just a little bit of northerly flow coming for us here. You can see coming from, well, nothing at St. Mark's actually, but 5 in Tallahassee, 7 in Apalachicola, and 6 in Donaldsonville. So wind isn't really the story tonight. It's all this muggy and warm weather that's starting to make its way out of the region into Thursday. We'll start to see it clear out just a bit, maybe a scattered shower as we get through the rest of the night. But tonight, it's going to be nice and cool. We're starting to see this front sort of change our weather pattern from this warm and muggy, really above average, to this nice cool. You can see closer to average, 40s for most of the region, maybe just a tad bit on the warmer side. You could see 43 Carabel, 45 Perry, 42 Monticello, but it is actually 41 here in Tallahassee, so nice and cool for us. Tomorrow's forecast, you can see this nice cool weather sort of makes its way here. 48 in Tallahassee, 57 in Madison, and 58 in Apalachicola. So this week ahead, you can really see it's sort of a story of 2 weeks. Well, really 1 weekend. We have one day in the middle that's kind of messing it up just a little bit. Nice and cool temperatures from Thursday into Saturday, and very nice and sunny. On a Monday through Wednesday, you can see nice 50s through 60s, but Sunday is really the outlier right there. You can see 60% chance of rain on Sunday, high of 70, low of 50. So a really nice week for us, except for Sunday. But now we're going to start to look at the other side of the nation, Lake Tahoe, with Zach.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. You know, I've always liked road trips, and today let's go on another quite long road trip. I'm going to be following I-10 and then I-40 for a while. It's Lake Tahoe, which you mightn't think about kind of a wintry time of the year. And here we are. There is the lake right there in blue. But notice all of the pink and some of these purple colors right here. These are going to be our winter storm warnings and our winter weather advisories, respectively. Here behind my back, as we get over here towards Sacramento, over towards just west of Placerville, those are where the flooding is the most concern. That is our flood watches. You can see the precipitation has been basically nonstop all over South Lake Tahoe down towards Bear Valley. This is heavy to moderate snow pretty much over the entire area. And notice just on the other side of the ridge line where we don't have that topography and that elevation cooling things off over towards Placerville and just south of Sacramento, your I-5 commute tonight is going to be really, really soggy. And really, it's been doing this for a long time. Zooming out, it's kind of gives you that sense of the atmospheric river. The moisture is really rocketing up off of the Pacific Ocean right now. And anywhere here south of Reno, if you're up here in the mountains, you're seeing some really heavy snowfall tonight. But this is a great opportunity for rainfall for much of central and southern California. So looking at the Lake Tahoe area, Reno, it's 33 right now, 34 in Carson City, a little bit warmer, like I said, the other side of the mountains, it's 50 right now in Sacramento. Wind speeds still kind of following that precipitation out of the south, really coming to the north, bringing that moist conditions, bringing the moisture, up into the area, and you can see as we go into the next 24 hours. It literally does not stop snowing. So if you like snow, we're going to see somewhere on the order of 60 to 80, potentially even more inches. So we're measuring in feet here. And the week ahead is going to say that winter is not over anytime soon in Lake Tahoe. Thursday, Friday, it's going to continue to keep on snowing. Enjoy that weekend, though. Temperatures finally above freezing, and their sunny skies are around. All right, we're going to pass things off now to Chandler with a look at Florida.
That's right. That's a very informative segment about Lake Tahoe. Now let's move back to the East Coast. Let's talk about Florida. So current conditions, we can see 57 degrees in Jacksonville. As we make our way into central Florida, you can see those temperatures are in the upper 70s, low 80s in South Florida. And then we look at those dew points, as Robert mentioned, or actually as Christian mentioned, this is basically a sore thumb compared to the rest of the U.S. Basically really muggy conditions, even up into Pensacola. They're basically the driest we are at 57, but as we get down into the Key West, 72, and anywhere in the 60s in between. And looking at the radar, we can see that shower line that's moving through Orlando. Just past Jacksonville. We had it earlier today. Now people in Tampa and Orlando should prepare for some heavy rain. That severe threat is not likely, but you should still prepare for those downpours. We saw a lot of puddling and pooling on the roads today, caused a few wrecks. So please keep in mind if you're driving later on tonight. Looking at Pensacola in that region, we basically have nothing. They had that earlier today, but we have nothing on radar. Still need to watch out for those pooling on the roads. Most of the places are dry, but you might have one of those backcountry roads that has a big, huge puddle or pothole. As you look in Jacksonville there, they're clearing out, but as you go down to the southern part of northern Florida, you get to Ocala. They are dealing with some heavy rain right now. Gainesville is just reaching the end of it as well. And then you go into central Florida, and you can see that it's making its way towards Orlando. Orlando, you still aren't receiving any rain yet, but you are going to later on tonight. And then in South Florida, they won't be experiencing the rain, but they will cool down a little bit. Let's talk about those temperatures. Miami, you will cool down a little bit for tomorrow and Friday. And then also the same story in Tampa. Temperatures will cool down, but before they rise back up on Saturday. And then we look at Orlando, same story. Temperatures will be around the 60s before they get up into 72 on Saturday. When we look at Jacksonville, temperatures will be a little cooler with the highs being around 50, and then our high on Saturday being 63 degrees. And then Pensacola, we have temperatures at the 50s for Thursday and Friday, and then 60s on Saturday. For tonight's lows, you can see basically we will have lows in the 30s, well actually 40s, this is incorrect, and then we'll get into the 50s in Central and South Florida. Tomorrow, you can expect those highs to be around the 50s in the northern part of Florida, and then the 70s in the south part of Florida. And now I'm going to pass things off to Zach.
Thanks. Let's take one last look at our local. Right now, the sun is setting, and this is our last beautiful view over Doak Campbell Stadium. Thankfully, Tallahassee City proper and the FSU campus missed most of the severe weather today. We did get quite a bit of rainfall. Right now, it's still 71. I expect that to be dropping very quickly as we head into the evening. It says mostly cloudy. We have cleared out a good bit, though. It has that nice view out there. 61 in Thomasville, 62 in Bainbridge right now, and that's just a little shot of what's coming tonight. It's seriously cooled off from what we have seen. A couple areas are reporting wind, and anywhere that is Donaldsonville down towards Apalachicola, it's that west-northwesterly flow we would expect behind the cold front. Otherwise, winds are pretty calm. Things have calmed down. Satellite and radar, I'm going to take a look here off to the east. That's the last little bit of that line as it pushes away. But here behind us in Tallahassee, the skies are clearing out and things are drying out, and that is excellent news, especially for the damage cleanup and recovery. Right now on satellite and radar, you can see a series of low pressure systems. The eastern half of the U.S. is pretty messy right now. Up towards Cincinnati and St. Louis, we have some snow actually, and high pressure building into the west, which is great news for us here locally. Next 24 hours shows you that higher pressure and drier air really moving in. Things are going to be nice, albeit cooler as we get into the day tomorrow. Tonight, getting down to around 40, so around 25 degrees cooler than we were last night, so be prepared for that. Still expecting those clouds to maybe hang around in some areas. Tomorrow morning might see some fog on your drive to work. Otherwise, looking at mid-50s for the highs, and the sun is going to be absolutely beautiful. And looking at the week ahead, things are pretty cool right now. We have 50s as we get through Thursday and Friday. Saturday and Sunday of next week, though, finally, not next week yet, but this weekend looking absolutely fantastic. And Sunday, 70 degrees, that chance of rain returns, kind of splitting our forecast here. And as we get into Monday and Tuesday of next week, I mean, I love this kind of weather. A couple degrees cooler maybe than I would like it personally, but you know, it's going to be around 60 degrees. That sun is going to be out, partly cloudy skies. The nights are a little cooler, but you know, we have like 10 months of heat and humidity on the way, so let's take what we can get while we have it. It's overall not too bad of a forecast. Like I said, it's kind of split up with that Sunday rain. Now we're going to pass it off to Christian Jesse. We're going to close out the show.
Thank you
Zach.
so much, Zach. Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know
That's
you were
okay.
sorry. Thank you, Zach, though. Yeah, it was a crazy day today. I was really excited to be able to do the show tonight. Just because we don't get to talk about severe weather a lot. I don't know, have you been able to be on the show and have a tornado or anything yet?
Not at all. This is my first time talking about severe weather, and it's really exciting. It's the main topic, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And for us, I mean, we never get tired of talking about it. I know
No.
I was talking to my friends about it this morning before it happened. And then during the tornado warning, I was talking to my roommates and I was talking to my friends. And then after the tornado actually passed through, reaching out to family members, letting them know that I was safe and that, you know, my apartment hadn't been damaged. But tell me, what were you doing when this came through?
Actually, I was sleeping in this morning until 11:30, and as soon as I woke up, that's when I heard the alarm from the National Weather Service saying, oh, there's a tornado warning. And so I actually told my roommates, of course, I'll be like, hey guys, be careful, there's a tornado warning. So we have to have the mentality and always be prepared. And even though it was absolutely calm outside where I was, it was raining, but there was no wind, so which is a good sign for us at the moment, but you never know when those winds can suddenly pick up and you have to seek shelter. And I was just mentally prepared.
Yes, exactly. I know that I was prepared along with my roommates. One of my roommates actually walked to class and got stuck in the rain on the way back. I was
That's
really
awful.
worried about her, and I was like, I don't know why you walked to class, but she made it back safe. We hung out on the lower level, and we just kind of waited to see what happened. And thankfully, the tornado went on the south side of Tallahassee, and you know, a lot of us are on campus or live on the north side, so we were really spared from most of that. But I know tonight was a great show, but make sure to follow us on Twitter to continue hearing about all this.
Yes, and also like us on Facebook, facebook.com/FSU weather.
And as always, we'll be here every weekday evening at 6 p.m. on YouTube.
And we always love it when you show us some pictures, guys, especially today on Instagram. We love to share with everybody. I know today was a pretty exciting day for all of us.
Yes,
here.
if you guys have any damage that you guys would like to show us from the tornado, from any winds, please send them our way. We will repost them. But for now, I'm student meteorologist Jessica Kirk.
And I'm student meteorologist Christian Palacio.
Have a great night, Tallahassee.